marketing and product development powering investments. That is our topic. I'll continue in English because most of our speakers will be speaking in English in this panel.
Explores the role of innovative marketing and product strategies in transforming destinations into investments hub. Moderating this session is Maribel Rodriguez, International Strategic Advisor to TTYD and former Senior Vice President at WTTC. Thank you. Alessandra Priante, President, Italian National Tourist Board, who brings extensive knowledge on promoting Italy's destinations globally. Ve Dr. Elif Balcı Fisunoğlu, Vice General Manager, TGA. Buyurunuz efendim. Dr. Cemil Hakan Kılıç, General Manager, Istanbul Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hoş geldiniz. Ve Enrique Ybarra, Founder and CEO, City Sightseeing. Welcome, sir. Please have a seat. Have a nice panel.
I'm gonna go closer because I feel lonely there, like, you know.
No, claro.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good? So we are here to talk about tourism. We have been discussing about investment of the last 24 hours in a successful day yesterday. But now we have an amazing group of experts in different fields to talk about destination marketing and product development. Why? Because tourism is an engine. It's a powerful tool for the global economy, but tourists, they are not coming along. You don't wake up in the morning and they are there. There is a big job behind the scenes. And when marketing, destination marketing is well done together with product development, of course you will try and attract tourists and investors. So here we are today to discuss with my dear guest about that. So, well, let's start for a question that everybody's going to be answering. What are the trends that you are now seeing when it comes to destination marketing and the factors that are important to attract investors? So I'm going to start with Alessandra. She has a flight to catch, so maybe she will disappear a little bit before the rest, so I'm going to give her the floor. Hello, Alessandra.
Hope not. Thank you very much, Maribel. I'm sure that your moderation is going to be excellent. First of all, I want to thank TTYD for the very kind invitation. It's a pity I'm here in Istanbul only for less than 24 hours. But one of the main reasons, and this is business tourism, one of the main reasons I'm coming, and so here I'm going to start answering your question, is motivation. And for me, motivation is not only to attend this fantastic event, but also to see my very good friends, Elif and Maribel, which I think is one of the biggest motivations in general in life, love. So the trends in tourism, I clearly come from a country where destination marketing is sometimes not so difficult. I mean, if I say Roma, Venice, Florence, I mean, all of you know what I'm talking about. So I don't need to build the name. I don't need to build a trend. I don't need to tell people to come. So for me, the trends are lesser known destinations. In the case of the Italian peninsula, is all the interior. If Italy is a fruit, is all the interior that needs to be transformed into a marketing destination, if they want, clearly. The second biggest trend is quality versus quantity. I don't want to hear any more the word over-tourism, which to me is just a very light indication of bad management. We don't invite 5,000 people in 50 square meters house for our birthday because we know it's going to be a disaster. So,
we can touch on that later.
Yes, no problem. And the third trend is what I'm telling you is tourism is not anymore that much of a destination. Tourism is more of a motivation tourism, which gives us space with a larger development.
Thank you, Alessandra. Another important and amazing and a host country here today, Turkey. Please, Elif.
Thank you very much. I agree totally with Alessandra has been mentioning. But if we look from another angle, there was already a transformation within our industry before the pandemic. But with Gen Z, millennials, and the pandemic, things went quite faster. And the new generation, even I started saying that we're talking about Gen Z, but we started also acting like Gen Z. So there's a very huge audience, large audience. This is acting like Gen Z. And we are looking for authentic experiences. We are looking more personalized content. And TGA, the Turkish Tourism Board, was established in 2019, and I always say that we are born into the pandemic, and Turkey is already one of the leading tourism destinations with famous cities, brands, Antalya, Istanbul, Cappadocia, and all. But our focus was to create more destinations in order to manage the tourism. I don't like also the over tourism. We need tourism for businesses, we need tourism for the sustainability of the economies, the local engagement, so it is a good thing, but you need to know how to manage it. So we created experience pillars. Under our GoTurkiye.com platform, we have over 60 tourism pillars that are matching with our destinations. So in this way, we are able to present more destinations, more experiences that are not maybe known that well when Turkey is on the table as a destination. So we are trying to create more personalized itineraries, authentic experiences, and of course digitalization, innovation, and making them all connected with AR, VR, and technology is very crucial.
Thank you. We can touch on a lot of other things later because I've been noting those comments. What about the Conventions Bureau? You are responsible to welcome those tourists. What are the trends that you are seeing when it comes to destination marketing?
Well, after the pandemic times that we learned one thing, that the travel will never fade away. People will travel no matter what. So to me, individualism, tailor-made projects for tourists to visit, and second-hand sustainability, of course, is one of the other trends that is moving so fast. But when you look at it in a broader or macro picture, you'll see respecting cultural integrity is one of them as a trend. Issue of over-tourism, of course. Community engagement of every denominator in the sector. Understanding the environment impact also, of course. And environment-friendly investments. That's another thing. But I'm going to be a little sentimental about this. The way that I see tourism, other than these factors, which is very prominent, I see it as the best way and the most efficient way of exporting your culture to other destinations. And in the end, this would lead to world peace, because when you're interacting with people, you'll flourish friendship through. And
Absolutely.
That's what we need exactly during these times.
Applause, please, because that is very important. Actually, this is what our sector is all about. If you don't see the, perceptions and perspectives. Enrique, you are a company which is globally spread around, so many countries, so many cities where you operate. What is important for you as a company when it comes to promoting a destination? We can talk about investment later.
Well, Maribel, first of all, good morning to everyone, and thank you so much to TTYD for inviting me to this wonderful panel. And well, talking about trends, I think that first of all, we need to look at the evolution of the travel industry in the last 25 years. That, of course, has been one of the industry that has evolved the most, and also the new travelers, as the Gen Zs, And it is very, very important to look back and see how, let's say, our grandparents used to travel. There were very few people at those times that people could travel. When they travel for a long period of times, but very few times, or maybe once a year or once every few years. Then the evolution of travel, it went into, people started to travel for leisure purpose. It was more for leisure. You know, people started to travel to see the big destinations, the big monuments. They wanted to take pictures next to the Big Ben or the, any other main monuments around the world. But today, it has completely changed. Because the way of life that we have, because all the communication that we have, because that stressful day-to-day that we have, people need to disconnect. And the way to disconnect is to go away of your environment and live local experiences. They want to live in a different way. They want to live the way locals do in the destination. So that's why I believe that the travel industry will be changing at some point their name, and it will not be called anymore travel industry. It will be called the experience industry. People, as I said, they are looking for what the locals are doing. They want to have more personalized experience. And I'm going to give you an example of what we are doing in the company. And also with something that is very demanded now, that is the technologies, the new technologies, AI from all travelers. To make it personalized, we cannot have in our buses, our boats, the same commentary, you know, multilingual commentary for everyone, you know, as we have been having for many years. We're developing now with AI software, the customer, when they come into our boats, buses, and everything, they will talk to it and they will say their interests. I want to know about history. I want to know about gardens. I want to know about monuments. Or I want to know about sports in the city. And then quickly, this tool will adapt the commentary to what the customer wants to see, what the customer wants to hear. Okay? So you can personalize, because you cannot give exactly the same comment to everyone. Customer travelers, they are looking also for sustainability, and not only for destinations that they care about, their preserving their monuments, their sites, their environment, the local community. They are looking also for companies, for suppliers that care about sustainability. When they come to a city, we see more and more people looking for vehicles with less emissions. For example, no, that's something that is very typical, we're seeing everywhere. So it's not just the destination that needs to care about sustainability, but also all the stakeholders in the destination. I think it's the ecosystem that they need to do together to be successful. No? And well, I would say those are the main things that the trends they're looking for today.
That. So when it comes to invest, because today we have here a lot of investors, hoteliers, what would be your recommendation from the point of view of two mature destinations, started with you, Alessandra, when they are building a hotel, when they are investing in your country, what are the things that they need to look at, and what would be your recommendation?
Well, first of all, it's a very intelligent question in the sense that, first of all, when it comes to FDIs, FDI requires that there's a long-term planning. So you don't talk to hotel investors when they're already building. You talk to them when they don't even know that they want to make a hotel in your country. So you can imagine, for example, in a country like Italy, the need to more than build, there's clearly we have a lot of ancient cities, so it's about transforming existing buildings. This is a big trend, for example, in the city of Roma, abandoned buildings from the 1800s or used for, I don't know, Bank of Italy or other big institutions that are being transformed into hotels. We have a case of 3 lately, and I'm talking about very large, high-end brands like Six Senses, like Mandarin Oriental. They're buying, or they bought already and transformed into hotels. I think what is very important when attracting an FDI, when having a proper FDI policy, is first of all creating an investment-friendly situation. I have to say, mea culpa, that in Italy, many sort of point at the bureaucracy. I hope in Spain is a little bit different, I'm sure it is. But, you know, bureaucracy does not help. Bureaucracy discourages the foreign investors. So we're trying to build a more sort of investor-friendly framework, both regulatory and also fiscal, so that FDIs are pushed a little bit more. In our case, again, it's about whatever you do, if you're requalifying a building or if you're buying an existing hotel a little bit outside of the main points of attraction, the main thing we try to focus on in social sustainability. In the sense that what is very important for any foreign investor, you were referring to experiences and interaction with local community, which means maintaining the authenticity. It is very important that there is a virtuous relation between the local community, not just by employing local people in the hotel, but also somehow representing and not disrupting the culture, giving an attention to local produce. For us in Italy, it's very important, where we have a huge wine and gastronomy heritage. So how do we actually integrate so that that hotel does not disrupt? This, Maribel, is very important, especially when we want to develop lesser-known destinations. As I said before, not every lesser-known destination or village wants to become a tourism attraction. Maybe they don't. But if they do, we have to be able to attract investment in that territory that integrates with the community in a way that is sustainable. There you go, I said it, the magic word. So that is the main requirement. But on the other hand, we need to make sure they come and not discourage them with a lot of heavy bureaucracy.
One-stop shop would be great, because I can imagine investors going to a country where to start with, put them easy, because they're going to be bringing a lot of wealth to the country. What about in Turkey? What are you doing?
I think this event itself is a really great answer to this. Our Turkish Tourism Investors Association is organizing this event to gather the Turkish and international investors and professionals. And the opening yesterday with the Vice President of the Republic, several ministers representing the industry, is showcasing how Turkey looks at seriously to this matter. Turkey has traditionally very well-known destinations, but Turkey has the huge potential for further cities. And in our case, we have our provincial tourism promotion and development program, where we cooperate with all the mayors, governors, and local industry in 81 provinces of the country. And each single of them is willing to become a destination for tourism. So there is the intention from all around the country. And Turkey has very experienced tourism investors and professionals. The government is always flexible and helpful, but of course we have systems and mechanisms to build a strong and sustainable future for Turkish tourism. One of the, of course, important pillars is sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, the first thing coming to our mind is green initiatives, eco and environment friendly. But it is not limited with that. It has the 4 pillars: sustainable management systems, the local people, social economy, the communities. And Turkey has the only mandatory sustainable hotel accommodation program as the first and still the only one. We have over 20,000 hotels certified and verified. And when there's a new investor opening a hotel in Turkey, they have to have the stage 3, which is 100% compliance with GSTC criteria. So they need to respect the historic buildings. They need to respect local, labor, women in power, and all those things. So together with this certification system, actually we are providing a guideline and criteria for all investors, all international brands that are coming to our country for new investment.
Thank you. What are you doing to help Turkey as the door to being a conference and Congress and Convention Bureau, where you are attracting? What are you doing for that?
Well, in a nutshell, our main job is to bring as many prestigious congresses around the globe to hold their annual meetings in Istanbul. So for that, you have three-legged base, I would say. One of them is accessibility, with Turkish Airlines flying over than 300 destinations. Europe for us is like a domestic flight. You got 15 flights to London every day, maybe more than that into Berlin or Germany. So accessible. I have the saying that if Turkish Airlines is not flying directly to a destination, that means that there's not a plane built yet to fly that distance. So Australia being one of them. Hopefully in the future we'll fly there too. The second is the infrastructure, as my colleague here explained, state-of-the-art hotels and convention centers and everything, providing all these event-related things. And the third is safety. We did have a project with TripAdvisor for 2 years on 7 different languages when we ran their pages. And as the results came out, I'm not going to give the name of the city, but that to your surprise, Istanbul, for the scale of 20 million compared to not more than 2 million, one of the capitals in Europe, which is supposed to be the safest, safer than that city. So it's safe, it's reachable, and it's got the facilities for it. Other than that, we do have projects like Tourism Index that we just started. We're going to go into in-depth what the tourists do, follow them step by step, what they eat, where they go, what they do, and what their preferences are. And the third one is the intellectual capital. That project will hopefully show us the power of Turkish people in the board of other associations, foreign associations, boards, which could help us to bring and drive those things to Turkey. I'll cut it up here for the next one. I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. Well, Enrique, you are in the other side. You are an investor. You are going to start operations very soon here in Turkey. What do you need as a foreigner coming to a country? What we can, so you can explain, because all those practices are really good for the rest as well.
What do we need? Funds. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Actually, it's not in our priority list. Always financial support is always very welcome, but it's not in our list of priorities. I would say 3 of them. Okay, number 1 is we do feasibility studies of many destinations, okay, and we look for market potential. That's number 1. Of course, it's not just market potential, number of travelers coming into the destination, but also what has the destination to offer. For us, it's really important, because it's not the same thing to be operating in a city, in a summer destination in the coast, where there is a lot more leisure than monuments and sites to visit, that in a city like Istanbul, that is such an amazing, beautiful, with so much heritage, that there is a lot to do. So that means that has a lot more potential. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would say political stability and legal security. And you might ask me, why? What do you need? Why so important? Well, we have a business that we rely and we collaborate a lot with the local authorities, okay? We need authorizations, or we need license, any kind of permits to be operating in the destination. So that's really important, that there is a political stability. And at the same time, legal security. And I'm going to give you an example. I would not say the destination, but some years ago, we were operating in a destination and we were doing wonderful. The business, as also we were promoting the city and the local authorities, they were very happy about the service that we are providing, like in any other city. There was a political change. And then we started to have problems with our license, with our authorization. So that's why it's so important for us, both those things, the political stability and legal security. It could affect very much any investment that we do in a destination. So it's really, really key factor. And well, those are, I would say, the 3 main factors, the 2 main factors, but there is another one that is a key one, and it's a local partner. We don't go to any destination by ourselves. let's say, we always go hand to hand with the local partner. That's been my philosophy since I founded the company almost 30 years ago. I believe that the local partner can bring a lot of value in any joint venture. The local partner not only knows the authorities, but also knows the market and knows how to operate, knows the culture, knows the religion. So that's very, very important to adapt what we know how to offer to the travelers in every destination. So for us, the local partner is key for any destination. So those are the three main ones.
Very, very valid. I think that partnership is always very important. And talking about alliances and partners, I would like to know your opinion about what sort of collaboration you are doing with others to be able to work better when it comes to promoting your destination. It's important, the public and private sector. And an example, if you may, about how something has been working because you were hand on hand with this particular association, company, starting with Italy?
Maribel, you know, I'm known in the industry for being very direct. I remember once someone called me a very straightforward diplomat, which seems like a contradiction in words. So I'm going to tell you, PPP is paramount. It was said, without private-public partnership, you're going nowhere. But in some countries in Europe, I would say starting with mine, with a lot of levels of administration, so you have the national, you have the regional, you have the municipal, you have the province, you have the district, whatever, which makes it different layers. I would say that there's too much public politics in tourism. So I fully agree with you, Enrique, when you say that, you know, it is important to have a local partner. What is very important, we must understand especially if we're talking about FDIs from outside the country. So we need to attract Turkish investors, American investors, or we need to build an investment-friendly environment. So again, if that is not the goal, then we get lost. Because in my country, for example, there's some stability in the country, that's for sure. But we were known in Europe, we were a little bit of a joke that every year we were changing government. So that doesn't really give a lot of stability, because if every year there's elections or something, your interlocutors change, and clearly every interlocutor wants to favor, for example, the city or the village they come from. So in that case, that is very anti-investments. So, but talking in a positive way, because of course my job here is to also remind everyone that Italy is a very good place to invest in.
Do you know that Italy is beautiful, you know? Okay.
So anybody wants to invest in Italy here, please don't change your mind, absolutely. We have had some very good examples of this type of intervention. We've had foreign investors that have intervened in the acquisition of big assets, airline companies. We just have our national airline that has been bought by Lufthansa in a corporation share. There is a lot of BlackRock loves Italy. Elon Musk wants to buy the Colosseum. We're just trying.
Let's go to Turkey a little bit. Oh my God, that is too much promotion.
No, I wanted to finish on that because we're just trying to explain to Elon that it's not for sale. But, you know, we have situations like this. But no, for the rest,
no problem. You know, in Spain, sometimes my friends, German, which I love, they say, oh, can we buy Mallorca? I say, why not? So I understand. No problem.
I would love to respond this question from also a different angle. First, for private sector cooperation and to make an investment-friendly destination, it is really important to power those destinations with strong marketing and promotion. Create brand awareness and create international collaboration and recognition, and create a platform where in the local and regional and governmental level, the private sector and the government are acting together. So I can say that TGA is a very good example for that, because we are established with a private law in 2019, where all our board members, except 2 seats, are from the private industry. We have 2 seats for the ministry, and we have Turkish Airlines and the Airport Authority. And we have seen how things can go faster during the pandemic. Turkey created the Safe Tourism Program, which was a great response because it was when all the countries were shut down, Turkey implemented a safe and controlled mechanism to keep hotels open, to keep restaurants open, all businesses open. So all the investors, doesn't matter if they are Turkish or foreign investors, they were able to still continue doing business in Turkey. So such cooperations are really very important, but also for the best model, you really need to power your destinations and make them desirable products for everybody. We're in Istanbul now. According to Euromonitor, last year it was the #1 destination, attracting the highest number of international visitors. So if you are an investor here from another country, you know where to invest. If the destination is attracting that many people, and Turkey every year announcing new targets. Last year we end up with over 56 million people, and our announced target is 60 million. Even our minister last month increased it to 61 million international visitors. So there's an attraction for travelers to come, and this also creates the attraction for the investors to come. And again, I can say that there's also an advisory board that the minister is working with. It is above TGA's executive board, where also the Turkish Investors Association, Hoteliers Associations are working together. So when there's a major case, the presidents and the minister are discussing it, and if there's any reaction needs to be taken, like the one in the safe tourism and the cooperation on sustainability, because you cannot create a mandatory program without the consensus of the private industry, because they are all those private entities who are going to adapt to criteria. You can only put the rules as the government, and as TGA we can only coordinate it, but it is the private industry to understand and to accept it, to implement it, to adapt it.
Yeah, it is very important, the collaboration, and to have clear KPIs and being aligned, because otherwise it can happen what we are now facing in Europe and many other places. I don't want to use the name because I know that you don't like, but it's the elephant in the room. And I would like to ask, and sorry, I'm going to go to Enrique for a minute, because I would like to ask about destination management. How do we manage the flows, the number of people, and how come the private sector support and help? And because it's a reality. And we all want people to travel, we want to do campaigns, we want to increase our numbers, of course in a sustainable way, but we need to know how to do it. And maybe you, Enrique, can help us a little bit to enlighten us with this info.
Yes, of course, Maribel. Okay, yeah, first of all, for that matter, it's key what Alessandra was saying before, the collaboration of the 3 Ps, public, private, and people. That's key, and managing flow of tourism, is becoming more important every day, because we see some destination where overcrowding is happening, and we don't have to wait until that happens. We have to manage the flows before that happens, because we know that is an issue that is happening already in many destinations. Even before pandemic, we could see already some cities and some people, some locals, talking about tourism not in the right way, I would say, because too many visitors into their location. Well, so I'll give you examples of what we are doing, okay? We're talking to some local municipalities, okay? We are asking, we're advising them to invest in different areas of the cities, so we can change our itineraries from the existing ones, and we can take people to new sites, to different places. Number one, I think, is the decentralization. What we want to achieve is the decentralization of tourism in those destinations, to bring them from those hot areas and taking them around to different areas. They will not only see new things, new experience as they are creating these municipalities that people didn't know them about before, but the beauty of that is not just the decentralization, it's also, let's say, the distribution of the wealth of tourism to other areas of the destination that before did not arrive. Those travelers, when they go to those new areas, they spend money in a bar, in a little shop, in other places, and if it was not for this kind of program, this traveler will never arrive to those areas, no? So now we are seeing in some of these destinations, in these new areas that we're promoting, new businesses to grow. And they're growing new businesses because the wealth of tourism is also arriving there. So it's really, really important, the decentralization and the distribution of the wealth of tourism. But again, for that is vital the collaboration in between the private and the public. No? The public needs to start investing into these new areas so they could do some new things, new experiences for us to take the people around there. No? But summarizing, it's key, the 3 Ps in the travel industry.
Absolutely. Alessandra, you wanted to say something, and then I will ask you another question that and then we have to wrap up because we have not much time. But Alessandra, you wanted to mention?
Yes, regarding destination marketing. As I mentioned before, we are heavily focusing on lesser-known destinations. Why? Because next year, for example, we have a series of mega events. The Holy Jubilee will start. The Holy Door will be open in December. And then from January until November, until the Holy Door is closed, we were expecting almost 50 million extra tourists. I remind you that we are a 63 million people country. So extra, compared to the ones we already have, we are expecting 50 million. Clearly, we have a problem. So destination marketing is essential, is key, because we need to be able to grab these people in advance and have an alternative decompression destination. For example, as in Venice, they've done from the main city, they're taking them to the hills of Prosecco. In Rome, we're working with the region of Lazio to make sure that there's, if you put your compass centered in Roma, and then you turn around 100 or 150 kilometers, we have beautiful destinations, cities, medieval, villages, whatever. We need to make sure that we create this decompression, not only to limit the anthropic impact, which eventually is going to have an effect, but also because we cannot afford these numbers without having a disruptive effect and jumping into the negative perception of tourism. So destination marketing is key. So, but what is key is to work in advance with destination and create clear alternatives. This is the only way.
Cemil, what are your new projects? Because you are a little bit responsible as well, the trends, what is going on in the city. I'm going to bring so many people. So what are the new projects you are facing now?
Well, we got only less than 3 minutes. I'd like to take this opportunity to bring 2 issues that I've noticed. It's smaller scale, not very important, but it is related to investment, tourism investment. One of them, the Golden Horn in Istanbul, is one of the 4 places in the world where you can row, yani kürek çekme, where you can row in the salt water year round. So if the weather lets you, which it does, and it's got a great view, and I've seen all these consulates, I row myself too, I've noticed that there is an investment opportunity there that I always thought about. You know, this could be a very nice place in the world that could reflect to the world that this could be a Formula One of rowing competitions, maybe. Try to get into Oxford and Cambridge once, but they don't do it other than in England, so that was an issue. The other one, with your permission, it's very local, so I'd like to switch into Turkish if you don't mind.
Please.
O da şu, dikkatim...
So that also attracted my attention. Maybe I can also submit it to your attention as well. I am going to talk about three ends. Just imagine Kadıköy Square and Beşiktaş Square and Eminönü Square. Just imagine those squares. So I have this common impression about them. So they're priceless places to go and see. So my office looks over one of them. And when I look at it, I feel so sad. In 1976, I was a child and I came to Istanbul. Nothing has changed since then. So these three priceless squares have one commonality, which is to have bus stations. So nobody is disturbed by the presence of the bus stations. So you have Bosphorus, you have sea, you are on top of the sea, but you have bus stations. The bus stations are looking over the Bosphorus. Maybe with some by making some changes, maybe some investment opportunities can be created.
For the
And
great
we have
event.
just like 30 seconds. I have an amazing group of panelists today. We could have like another session and another session. As in these 15 now seconds, I would like to ask Elif, please, because this is your country, in 3 words, where do you see Turkey in the next 5 to 10 years?
We are number 5 now, and according to UN, and our target is to go further, keep our positions while growing the numbers and also the revenue. The answer also to over-tourism is the destination and product diversification. Turkey is implementing very smart solutions to that. Just this year, our ministry launched the Night Museum project. So you can visit Ephesus, Side, Patara, maybe even it's not yet known by Turkish people until midnight during the summertime. So we will continue promoting more destinations, and we will make more of our cities famous. I just came last night at 2 a.m. from Brussels, where we presented Konya as one of the 7 shortlisted destinations among the other EU cities as the European capital of smart tourism for 2025. So Turkey will continue to keep its existing landmark destinations as famous as they are, but we will include more destinations into the portfolio. Yesterday, one of the parliamentarians asked me, there are so many destinations, why I should come to Konya. I said before just the fundings of Göbekli Tepe, Çatalhöyük was the oldest human settlement with 10,000 years of history. So Turkey has so many stories to tell, so many reasons to come. So we would like to keep our position as a leading tourism destination, but while doing it in a responsible and sustainable way, and pioneer the path for a better future and better tourism.
Thank you so much. Very sure that Turkey is in good hands, like Italy is as well. So thank you for today.
Thank you,
and well, please, round of applause for them. They have done an amazing job. Thank you. We have a picture.